What if I told you that the biggest mystery in Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2 isn't just the new Titan, but the strange creatures connected to it? Episode 2 just dropped some massive clues about Titan X, those terrifying scarabs, and how Monarch might already be losing control of the situation. We're talking about a deadly kaiju that doesn't just attack randomly, a swarm of bloodthirsty insects that seem to act like its army, and a risky plan from Lee Shaw that could have easily gotten everyone killed. And on top of all that chaos, Monarch itself is falling apart after losing its leader, while secrets from the past between Kaiko and Lee continue to resurface in ways that could change how we see the entire story. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. In today's video, we're breaking down everything that happened in Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2, Episode 2, including Titan X's terrifying debut in the past timeline, the shocking connection between the Titan and the Scarabs, Kate's dangerous encounter with one of those creatures, and the surprising choice of Monarch's new leader. We'll also talk about the growing tension between Kaiko and Lee, and why their storyline might be more important to the future of the Monsterverse than it first appears. Trust me, this episode quietly revealed some huge lore about how Titans actually work, and if these clues are leading where I think they are, Season 2 might be setting up one of the most dangerous threats Monarch has ever faced. So let's break it all down. Titan X finally appears in the flashback storyline. For most of the episode, the flashback storyline keeps teasing the mystery surrounding Titan X without actually showing the creature. Instead, the focus is on Lee and Kaiko as they explore a strange village that seems to have a deep history connected to this mysterious Titan. Bill briefly leaves them to continue his own work, which means Lee and Kaiko end up spending most of the episode together. This gives the story time to explore the culture and beliefs of the villagers, who once treated Titan X almost like a god. The villagers even hold a festival meant to summon the Titan, performing rituals and dances that have clearly been passed down for generations. At first, it seems like nothing will happen. Some of the villagers don't even believe the legend anymore. To them, Titan X is just an old myth. But then, things start getting weird. Scarabs begin crawling out of the ground in massive numbers. At first, it's just a few, but then suddenly hundreds of them start emerging and rushing toward the ocean. The sight is terrifying because these aren't normal insects. They move aggressively, almost like they're following a command. Lee and Kaiko quickly realize they're in serious danger. The scarabs begin swarming through the village, forcing the two of them to run for their lives while trying to find shelter. And then, the moment the entire episode has been building toward finally arrives. Titan X emerges. The kaiju rises from the ocean in a massive and intimidating reveal. Even though we only see it briefly, the scale of the creature is enormous. Its tentacles crash through the village structures, instantly destroying buildings like they're made of paper. But what's interesting is that Titan X doesn't appear to be randomly attacking humans. Instead, it seems to be reacting to the scarabs. At one point, Titan X swings a massive tentacle toward the hut where Lee and Kaiko are hiding, destroying it completely. The scene cuts to black before we see what happens to them, but the implication is clear. The Titan is defending something, and that something is the scarabs.
You a boat! Go! Can you a boat?
The strange connection between Titan X and the Scarabs. One of the biggest mysteries introduced in Episode 2 is the relationship between Titan X and the Scarabs. From what we see in the flashback, the connection between them is incredibly strong. When the Scarabs emerge from the ground, they immediately rush toward the ocean, almost like they're trying to reach Titan X. It's as if they're being drawn toward the creature by some kind of biological signal. Even more interesting is the way Titan X reacts to them. The Titan doesn't attack the Scarabs. Instead, it appears to protect them. When Lee and Kaiko are near the swarm, Titan X lashes out with its tentacles, almost like it's trying to eliminate anything that could threaten the insects. This suggests that the Scarabs and Titan X share some kind of symbiotic relationship. Maybe the Scarabs serve as scouts or messengers for the Titan. Maybe they help feed it. Or maybe there's something even more important. Whatever the exact explanation is, the show is clearly hinting that these creatures depend on each other in some way, and that relationship becomes extremely important in the present-day storyline.
This is Kate Rana. I'm on deck. I don't know. There's something.
Kate faces the deadly Scarab. Back in the present timeline, the situation becomes even more dangerous after the events of the previous episode. At the end of episode 1, one of the Scarabs managed to sneak onto the Monarch helicopter. That tiny detail turns out to be a huge problem, because these creatures are far more dangerous than they look. In episode 2, the Scarab attacks inside the Monarch ship. Before the team even realizes what's happening, the creature brutally kills a nurse, leaving behind a horrifying trail of blood. The attack proves that these small monsters are just as deadly as some of the larger titans. Kate eventually comes face to face with the Scarab herself. It's an intense moment because she knows exactly what releasing Titan X has already caused. She's already dealing with guilt over Natalie Verdugo's death, and now she's staring down another monster that could kill her at any moment. Somehow, Kate survives the encounter, but the bigger problem is still coming.
Hold it for as long as you can. We just need to buy some time. Oh, time for what? Give that thing what it wants.
Lee Shaw uses the Scarab as bait. This is where Lee Shaw steps in with a risky plan. The character, played by Kurt Russell, has spent decades studying Titans and understanding their behavior. Unlike the younger members of the Monarch team, Shaw knows that sometimes the best way to deal with a monster is to manipulate its instincts. His idea is simple but incredibly dangerous. Use the Scarab as bait. Shaw realizes that Titan X is deeply connected to these creatures. If the Scarab emits the right signal, Titan X might follow it, and that's exactly what happens. When the Scarab releases a powerful sound, Titan X immediately changes direction and heads straight toward the Monarch ship. The Titan is moving fast, too fast. Suddenly, Shaw and the rest of the team realize they've created a massive problem. Titan X is now coming directly toward them, and if it reaches the ship, the results could be catastrophic. In a desperate move, Shaw throws the Scarab into the ocean just before the Titan reaches them. The plan works. Instead of attacking Shaw or the ship, Titan X goes after the Scarab. That moment reveals something very important about this new Titan. Titan X isn't just mindlessly destructive. It has a purpose, and right now, that purpose seems to be protecting the Scarabs. What Titan X's behavior tells us about the Monsterverse. This moment might be one of the most important pieces of lore the show has introduced so far. In the Godzilla and other Monsterverse projects, Titans are often portrayed as ancient forces of nature. Some of them fight each other, some of them protect ecosystems, and others simply exist as massive predators. But Titan X appears to have a completely different type of relationship with smaller creatures. The Scarabs aren't just random insects living near the Titan. They might actually be part of its ecosystem. Think of it like bees and flowers, or cleaner fish and sharks. One species benefits from the other, and both survive because of that relationship. If that's true, then the Scarabs might play a critical role in Titan X's survival, and that means Monarch might have just discovered a way to control or manipulate the Titan.
Things do change. Monarch changed.
The emotional tension between Keiko and Lee. While the monster storyline is thrilling, Episode 2 also spends a lot of time exploring the emotional drama between Keiko and Lee in the past timeline. This relationship has been complicated from the beginning. Keiko is married to Bill, but it's clear that she has always had feelings for Lee. Those feelings were hinted at heavily in Season 1, and even led to the two of them kissing at one point. In the Season 2 premiere, their unresolved emotions started bubbling back to the surface again, and Episode 2 pushes things even further. During the village festival, the atmosphere becomes more relaxed and emotional. There's dancing, drinking, and music filling the air. In the middle of all that celebration, Keiko and Lee share a moment that reminds them of their past connection. The show flashes back to a moment where the two of them kissed. Even though they don't kiss again in this episode, the tension between them is impossible to ignore. Both characters clearly care about each other deeply, but Keiko is still married, and that makes everything complicated. This storyline also mirrors the complicated relationships we see in the present timeline, especially when it comes to Keiko's son Hiroshi and his own choices. It's a reminder that the history of Monarch isn't just about monsters, it's also about the people who dedicated their lives to studying.
I'm not gonna risk us being sitting ducks out here. I got 200 people on this ship.
And how many hundreds of them?
Monarch needs a new leader,
While the Titan crisis continues, Monarch itself is dealing with a huge internal problem. At the end of episode 1, Natalie Verdugo was killed during Titan X's escape from Axis Mundi. Her death leaves a massive leadership vacuum inside Monarch. Someone needs to step up and take control, and the person chosen might surprise some viewers. Tim is promoted to become Monarch's new boss. At first, this might seem like an unexpected choice, but when you look at his character arc across the series, it actually makes a lot of sense. Tim has changed a lot since the beginning of season 1. Back then, he was mostly seen as a bureaucrat working for the modern version of Monarch. But over time, he's gained a deeper understanding of what the organization is really supposed to represent. Monarch was never meant to be just a government agency controlling Titans. It was meant to study them, understand them, and protect humanity from the dangers they represent. Tim respects that mission. He also understands how modern technology can help Monarch adapt to a world where Titans are becoming more active. That combination of old-school respect for Monarch's history and a modern perspective makes him the perfect bridge between the organization's past and its future.
Modify the pulsar setting on the sonar transducer to mimic the Titan's frequency.
You can do that?
What this means for the rest of Season 2. Episode 2 doesn't answer all the questions about Titan X, but it definitely gives us a clearer idea of what's going on. First, the Titan and the Scarabs are clearly connected in some kind of biological relationship. Second, Monarch might be able to use that relationship to control or manipulate the Titan's movements. And third, the flashback storyline is slowly revealing how the early days of Monarch shaped everything we're seeing in the present. With Lee Shaw, Keiko, and the rest of the team now facing a growing Titan threat, the stakes are only going to get bigger. And if Titan X is just the beginning, then the rest of Monarch: Legacy of Monsters Season 2 could introduce even more terrifying creatures from the Monsterverse. But the real question is this: is Titan X actually the villain of the story? Or is it simply protecting something that humans were never meant to disturb? Because if the Scarabs are essential to Titan X's survival, then Monarch's attempts to control the Titan might end up making the situation even worse. And knowing how the Godzilla universe usually works, messing with the balance of nature rarely ends well.
Get out! No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.